Hey guys, welcome back. You're with the Free American Spirit, and today we're going to talk to you about the four horsemen of the cryptocurrency world. Is it conspiracy? Is something going on? Are evil forces at work? We don't know yet. Forget the conspiracy theories. But let's just talk about the new Poloniex being acquired by Circle. Now, who is Circle? Circle is a company that's out of Boston, I believe, a financial institution, and they started off swapping around cryptocurrency, and then they moved into fiat trading and conversions, and then they swore off cryptocurrency, but all of a sudden now they're acquiring Poloniex. Now, what does this have to do with really big bankers and Coinbase and Ripple XRP? Well, I'll tell you what it has to do with it. Now, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I do know when I see a pyramid with hieroglyphics or whatever you call them, that it means something. It's big. I may not be able to explain it because I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm telling you something's going on here. In the state of New York, you have a BIT license, which means if you're not a big, huge financial institution, you have to have a BIT license to buy and sell. So I can't go out and buy and sell stuff for another guy like Greg's, Bitcoin service or whatever, unless I jump through those hoops. And from my understanding, it's very expensive, and there's many layers of paperwork involved in it, and only 3 people have a license. Circle, who had a license, was the first person to get a license in the state of New York, and they were backed by Chase and JP Morgan, big money, and for a while they had the crypto trading on there, then they just stuck with fiat, trading fiat back and forth, which they are real big over in Europe and some other small areas. Who's the second person to get a license here in the state of New York? You guessed it, Ripple XRP. Ripple XRP is building up their platforms and they're trading fiat, and that's what they're all about, but they're not real big, in Europe. They're going all around. I wonder if they have some kind of unwritten little conspiracy thing going on with Circle. Who is the third person to have the last and final BIT license in New York? Coinbase. Coinbase, the biggest exchange in America, which trades for US dollars. They have a BIT license. Now, what does Coinbase have that Poloniex does not have? They have conversion to USD. Poloniex had conversion to USDT. But Circle, who just now acquired it, who still has their BIT license, does have fiat to USD. Wow. So what else is going on here? What does Coinbase not have? Coinbase doesn't have a lot of tokens and fiat currency exchange, but XRP does. I wonder if they'll get together. And why is this New York BIT license so important? Well, first off, a lot of people here in New York, where I'm from, think that licensing process was done by a lower level secretary, whatever he was, and was never passed by the New York legislature, whatever was unconstitutional, and it's actually being challenged. But it doesn't matter. Right now, the big banks, they're being, kind of controlled by this, and so are other exchanges. So by the time they drag that through the courts, and then other people like me can go buy Bitcoin from my friends without being arrested, or other exchanges, like Gemini, for example, has to jump through all the hoops, that'll be quite a while out. And, what does that mean? That means that all these big banking institutions can get in with these people and do stuff. Is that a conspiracy? Am I just thinking weird, or am I just not? I'm not a bright guy, okay? I'm just a normal average Joe, so I really don't know. So don't, take it all with a grain of salt. But New York is the biggest has some of the biggest financial institutions in the world, and the financial centers, not to mention that the largest bank or branch of the Federal Reserve is here in New York. The four horsemen, the largest banks, the lawyers, exchanges, the fiat. I don't know, guys. It's all kind of fitting together somehow. You got one fiat currency trader now hooking up with a large exchange in one part of the world. You got XRP, large fiat, maybe hooking up with another one. You got the largest banks. Who started Circle? JP Morgan, Chase. Who started Ripple and Coinbase? I don't know who originally financed them, the secret ones. But it's odd that they happen to have enough money right from the beginning to pay all this money and jump through the hoops to get through the New York bit license requirements. It's all kind of working, you know. And why is Japan starting its own and legalizing it? Because they're a big financial institution, you know, player in the financial world stage. And China, they're doing their own thing. And Russia just got together and they're doing their own thing. And so, hey, you know, all the big movie money shakers and whatever, all kind of doing what they always do, breaking up their countries and their territories and their alliances and getting it all ready for the big cryptocurrency change and whatever. It's going to take years, but it's really not. I mean, you look at some things like you already got fiats being changed by Ripple and by Circle. You already got some people having currency, you know, cryptocurrency cards, 10x, STK. You know, this is big stuff, guys. So, in the end, all these big movers and shakers and lawyers and governments and all these guys, they're all gonna, you know, have their big piece of the pie, the majority of it. But the great news for small people like us is we get all the stuff that falls through the cracks, and we're the guinea pig, tester outers, whatever you want to call us. You know, and some of us can make a ton of money, and some of us will make bad choices, not make a ton of money. But just like, remember when the internet started out? I do. I remember having a college professor friend, you know, give me an account, and we could change things. And then when dial-up came up, we had a outside line, beep, beep, beep. It was exciting, and nobody even knew what it was. And they all laughed about the internet. Nobody's going to do that. Well, you know, then it started getting successful, and big things like AOL took over, and then Google took over, and then, of course, Microsoft, when it first came out, it was a little square box. I could have bought Microsoft. They came and showed it to me. It was a square box. It had word processor. It had a checking account. It had a database. I think that was it in there. And we all laughed, but it would hold like 10 megabytes or something weird. And that was like huge, man. You were like, wow. But we all laughed. It'll never go anywhere. You know, we were working on little internet stuff. Who's Microsoft? Well, we all know where Microsoft turned up. We all know where the internet turned up. What about things like when Amazon came out? We all laughed, whatever. You know, it's too much effort and money. Nobody will leave the brick and mortar stores. We're in the same thing now. These big money movers, shakers, countries, whatever, are going to own their areas, territories, stake out their claims just like they always do. You can't stop it. But you have chances to make wise decisions. Don't take them from me, because I don't know who to buy and not buy. I'm like, you know, the smallest of the small, just buying little things here and there. But there's going to be a lot of millionaires made, just like when the internet came in, and when Google came in, and when Amazon came in, and when Apple came in, and when all these big places made millionaires and billionaires. It's already happening, you know, with Bitcoin. There's already millionaire, billionaires. There's going to be plenty more. And then eventually, 5-10 years down the road, whatever it may be, or even sooner, it'll all be working together, and then the opportunities will be less and less and less. But, you know, just think about all this for a minute. You know, is it a conspiracy? Is it all a big plan? Is it all the devil taking over the one world order? No. Look, all these people are in it for their interests, and all these countries are in it for their interests, and they're all going to work together like they have. The big lawmakers, politicians, big banks, they're not stupid people, okay? If you think that you're going to have a coin that you can actually be all privatized and think nobody knows you, think again, okay? Here's the reality. When we started the internet, we thought it was all going to be free, and we could share ideas and exchanges, and everything was going to be unicorns and butterflies. And once the guinea pigs, meaning us, got done getting it all kind of worked out and whatever, big companies and governments and whatever got involved, and luckily they just haven't decentralized it. You know, if the United States or India or China wanted to stop doing Bitcoin, they could just make laws that you couldn't use it, and that would be the end of it. But they can't, because other countries are doing it, so they have to do it. But they can control who does it and whatever. As far as the criminals only using it, that's nonsense. Criminals use what they use. They use gold, silver, greenbacks, pesos, whatever the case may be. Okay. And to be anonymous, really, let's think about this for a minute. I go and murder somebody. Nobody knows it. So I have a good chance of not getting caught unless, I leave a lot of evidence behind. Now, if I have a partner that helps me murder somebody, my risk of being found out, it goes way up. If I'm in a gang and we have 30 people and we murder somebody, our risk of getting caught goes way, way up, because every time you have more people involved, there's more chance of somebody rolling over, something happening. So cryptocurrency is the same way. Let's go back to the Silk Road days. They start Silk Road, nobody knows about. Then a lot of people start getting involved. Eventually, there's a crack somewhere. The FBI, whoever, Scotland Yard, whoever it is, finds out, this is going on, yada, yada, yada. Nobody knows who it is. It's all Bitcoin. It's all numbers. Eventually, they're going to track you down because you have to turn it into something somewhere. And eventually, this guy gets caught. His 50 billion or million or whatever it was gets taken and sold on. So every coin that's going to try this is going to have anonymity for a while, and they're going to get away with some things. But, eventually they'll be found out. People are looking into it. These governments aren't stupid. They got people who are going to see all these coins listed and whatever and say, well, what's that one? Let's look into it. What's that one? Let's look into it. That's the way it's going to work. You can't get around from the computer. The computer's going to pop up, hey, the new XYZ coin came up, and all of a sudden there's like $30 billion in it. Where'd that come from? Let's look into it. Hey, go get an account. Go buy some. Figure it out. Dig into it. Anyways, guys, that's my 2 cents. I hope you make some wise choices. Maybe get a little bit of luck and pick the right coins. But I'm telling you, not financial advice, but if I had money and I could afford to do it, I would be loading up on the XRP. I would buy stock in Ripple if they ever offered it. I'd buy stock in Coinbase if they ever offered it. I would buy stock in Circle if they ever offered it. Or they may, I don't know. But if they have coins, I'd be all over it. I'm looking at things like STK, Stellar, people who may or may not start working with the credit card companies like in 10X. Those are people that are working, real businesses doing things, and, not just something on paper saying we might do this and we might do that, and we crossed one of 5 off our list. Those are okay too for, those I call my Hail Mary, buy those, and maybe in 5 years I luck out and that's the one that turns from 40,000 shares into whatever, but the odds are I'll miss that boat. Anywho, that's the way I kind of look at it. Pick some smart things. Look at what they're doing. Do they have a track record? Are they building something? Are they fulfilling their promises? Are they actually making partnerships in real products or services that the rest of the world is using? Kind of simple like that. But, all you smart people out there that are way better than me, why are the big banks and these 4 horsemen, as they call them, just to throw that conspiracy stuff in there to freak everybody out. Why are they all have New York bit licenses and how they all come together? So there's something big going on here, guys. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, but it's a pyramid and the hieroglyphics are saying something, and one of you smart guys are going to figure it out for me. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.